Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you've not subscribed, please press subscribe. Makes me feel good. Anyway, this video, if you've read the title obviously, it's going to be about how much money you can make in Australia as a carpenter. Well, I'm in Queensland, so I can't say for it all, but Queensland anyway, Brisbane area. So we've been here for 2 years now, and I've worked my way through the ranks and I've gone back as a sole trader. I was working for a company. They weren't the best, but they weren't the worst. You hear some horror stories about it, but yeah. So, how much should you be getting? Now, this is a bit of a funny subject because from my personal perspective, it can be anywhere from like $30 an hour up to $150 an hour, maybe more. And the way that's worked is from if you're working for a company, or if you're working for yourself and doing stuff, or if you're employing people, because you've got to charge more money, obviously. So, we'll start at the beginning. If you're going to work for a company, then you want to be getting as much out of that company as you possibly can. So when I got here, I took lucky as well. It was an English guy. Just showing me about if that's it. So it was an English guy who was working for the company, and I found him on one of the Facebook groups. So if you're looking for work, Facebook groups seem to work the best for me. Forget Seek and all that shit because they're a bit crap. Anyway, went on Facebook, found this company, went to them. So I ended up working for them. They put me on $48 per hour. They gave me a work pickup truck. At the time it was a Mitsubishi Triton, and then they gave me a Volkswagen Amarok, which was quite good because you don't have to buy a car when you got you got a fuel card with that. You got a Bunnings card with that. Now Bunnings is like B&Q, but B&Q, imagine B&Q having everything instead of like your Travis Perkins and your Juicens. Bunnings, you go there for everything. Might attend to it as well, but they're a bit shit, so everyone just goes to Bunnings. So you get the Bunnings card, and they even offered to buy me tools, but I thought, well, there's no point in them buying me tools because when I do come to leave, which I knew I would be, I'm going to have to buy the tools anyway. So I thought, I'll buy new tools, put them in my first tax return and get money back. And don't forget to do that. So if you're thinking of bringing tools, don't forget you're going to have your first tax return. You'll get about $6,000 back in your first return. Anyway, back to the money, how much you can earn. So there's companies out there which will pay you the bare minimum, and they'll have you working close to your home so you don't do anything. Mine, they had me travelling all over the place, so I was working up Sunshine Coast, which was like an hour and a half drive. So if you're working for the company, I'm going to tell you, you want to be aiming for about $45, nothing below that. If you're working below that, then you want awesome company culture kind of thing. Some of them said, oh, we'll buy pizzas on a Friday, we have a fishing trip and all that, but I thought, I'm not really bothered about that. I'm going to work, I want to earn money, I don't want to do the fishing trips, and that I can do that in my own time anyway. So yeah, the company I was working for, they put me on $48 an hour. After your 7.5 hour shift, you went to like time and a half, and then at 2 hours after that it went to double time. So obviously I was trying to put in as much as I could. Weekends, I think it was time and a half on a Saturday, I'm sure it was. And then Sunday, I think, was it double time on a Sunday? I can't remember. Anyway, well, I just put in as many hours as I could because we've been here, and I thought just try and get the money in as quick as you can, try and build it up so we could buy the house. So yeah, so if you're coming over here, try and find a company that give you a lot of benefits. Like it was good to get the car, it was good to get the fuel because that's something else you don't have to pay for. If they give you your tools, then you don't have to buy the tools. I mean, tools aren't expensive here. Again, if you're thinking about bringing tools, I'd bring your S-wing hammer and little tools. I won't bring tool kits like your power tools because you can get them all here. Only if it's stuff like Mafel or Festool, DeWalt and all that stuff, you just buy them here cheap. So aim for a company that's paying you above 40. Don't go anything below. If anything below, they're taking the piss out of you. So if you want to be working for a company where they're paying superannuation and everything, I don't think you're going to break the $50 barrier. Aim as close to it as you can, but if you can get up to $50, that's great. So working for a company, I'd say that's your threshold, what you're going to get. When you're working ABN, which is classed as like CIS, so going on all the building sites and you've got to have your own insurance and all that kind of stuff, that's when it changes. So for that, you want to be earning, I'd say $70, up to $70. If you're using your own vehicle, you're using your own fuel, your own tools, you don't want to be doing it for much less than 70. So again, they might have a bit of culture where they say, oh, we'll take you out, we'll do this for you, but still you're there to earn money. So you want to be aiming for around the $70 mark. other companies that they might say to you, well, we'll give you a van, so you'll be on ABN, but we'll give you a van, we'll give you the fuel card. That's when obviously you've got to negotiate it, because if they're giving you the van, they're giving you the fuel card, you might be on ABN still, but you don't have all of the shit that goes with it. So then you can negotiate a bit, and you might say, oh, $55, $60, yeah. You might get a company out there who's happy to do that for you, because they can just use you when they need you. 9 times out of 10 they'll want to keep you going anyway, because it's that busy. So yeah, if you want to earn $70, that's going ABN, but you've got all the stuff that comes with it, sorting yourself out. Above that is when you go self-employed. So if you're self-employed, you've obviously got your marketing to pay for, you've got your accounting fees with all 3 of them. So even if you work for a company, you've got to do your own accounts. So it's not like the UK where they just submit your tax return for it, or they just pay it and then your tax just gets done. You've still got to submit a tax return at the end of the year. So yeah, so working for yourself, I wouldn't be working for any less than about $100. I mean, I don't like doing hourly anyway. I prefer to do it on price work. I'll work out roughly what it's going to be worth to me, the time spent getting to the job, going, picking materials up, and I'll give them a price for it. I've never liked doing hourly wage, because it's like you're working for them anyway, and they expect you there on the job. Whereas if you give a price, you'd probably give them the same price anyway, but you work harder, you get done, and you go home. So yeah, when I got to like the $150 an hour, that's when you're taking someone on. So if I'm running my own company and I've got, say, the overheads again, you've got the insurances, and you've got to pay their superannuation then on top. So when the company, say they're doing ABN work for you, so they'll come, you've got to pay them their money, so you'll be paying them their $70, and obviously you want your money on top, so you want another $70 on top, because you've got to pay expenses, and then you want your wage for doing it. So it's a bit of a tough one. I mean, some people might only charge $120. So you want at least $120 to $150. Some people go even higher. If you're working for some companies out here, there's a company called Fallon's, and they just absolutely charge the earth. I mean, how they get the work, I don't know. It's probably just because they promise people that they can be there on the day. But Fallon's, they'll charge the earth, and then they'll pay the staff. I know a lad, and he was getting like $35 an hour, I think it was. And then they upped it now to $40. A bit of a piss take when you're charging someone $400 to do a job that takes an hour, and you're paying the guy, there you go, there's $40, 10% of it. So I know they've got the overheads and everything, they spend millions on marketing, but yeah. So there's pros and cons of everything. When we first got here, my sole intention was going working for a company for a couple of years, or maybe a year like I've done, just figure everything out, because there's a lot of things that are different. The materials are different, like working with this, that's cement sheeting. That's going to be your new best friend if you're a carpenter. It's everywhere, everything, all the houses. Cement sheet, cement sheet, cement sheet. It's on the soffits. Over here they call them soffit. Fucking F-I-T. Not F-E-E-T, people. It's soffit, not soffit. Anyway, so yeah, my advice to you is, if you're going to come over here, get a job with a company. Try and find a decent company though. Where I failed, I should have gone working for a home builder, because I wanted my own building company. If you go working for a home builder, then you can learn the whole process of building a house. And when you come to get your QBCC license, which is the Queensland Building Construction Commission, if I want to go as a low-rise builder to build houses, considering they're made out of like 3x2 timber and wrapped in cement sheet, or sometimes a brick veneer, they want you to have worked for full 2 years building houses. So when I say 2 years, it doesn't mean you've been here, you've done a slab, you've done this. You have to say, well, I worked on X house for 6 months, here's everything I did on that house. After that one, we went on to the next house. I did 3 months on that house, here's everything I did. Then we did 2 months on that house, here's everything I did. So that'll add up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then you need 1. So that's only 11 months worth of work. So you have to describe everything you did on that job. It's not a case of going, well, I've been in the country for 2 years. I worked on that house and I put the roof on. I worked on this house and I put the slab in. I worked on this house, I did the cladding. I worked on that house, I did all the framework. They don't accept that. They want you to have worked solely on houses. And that's where the QBCC gets a bit shit. So if you get in here, I'd advise you to find a good company. A good company that builds houses. If you're going that way anyway, if you're not bothered about that and you just want to be a carpenter, then go working for other companies, because you can get signed off by them. You work with a carpentry company, you put the framework up, they'll sign it off. You can do the cladding, they'll sign it off. Do the guttering, they'll sign it off. And then you can go and get your trade license for being a carpenter. But that's only after 2 years of being in the country, because you've got to prove that you've got 2 years worth of work. So it's a bit hard. You've got a lot to get your head round. But if you've got any questions, just drop me a question in the comment section, and I'll try and help you if I can. I'll make a video on it. But there's the different stages of what I believe it is anyway when pricing for works. You've got the basic pay, where you've got no responsibility whatsoever. You get everything supplied to you. You just turn up and do the job. Expect between $30 to $40. Where you're going on a job and you got a bit more interest in the job, you're looking at doing more stuff. Like, you're not just a carpenter, you want to be doing I'll do the sheeting for you, I'll fit the windows for you, because you get a lot of people here that don't want to do it. Some carpenters here, all they want to do is put the frames up, all they want to do is put the doors in, all they want to do is put skirting boards in. So if you can be a bit of an all-rounder, that's when you're going to get the higher pay. So you want between $40 and $50, I think I said. When you're going to start supervising, then I'd ask for more, like 60 up to 70. If you're working ABN, you want at least 70. Or if they're supplying you with your vehicle and everything, then again, it's between 50 and 70. And when you're working for yourself, you want 70 plus. 70 plus. Personally, 100 plus, but whatever you're happy with. And this is the thing, it's whatever you're happy with. Don't think people are forcing you to do a job. I mean, you might win a lot more work because people do overprice a lot. I mean, I went to a woman to see her, and she didn't end up going with me in the end, but I give her a fair price to do some work. She'd been quoted $500,000 to do a side extension on the house. I reckon they could have done it for about 100 grand, right? This isn't the job I quoted for. I am quoted to do a bit of cladding on the face of the house. I quoted her 3 grand and she didn't come back to me with that, so there was no way she was paying $500,000 to have an extension. But that's the kind of stuff you're up against. To have a full house built would cost you 300 grand. These guys wanted $500,000 to do an extension. She had a plot of land, they saw dollar signs and they tried to nail a cap on. So yeah, you've just got to come in and budget it right. I mean, I'm picking up work now, and I'm still on English prices a bit, which you need to get out of your head, because you can earn a lot more money on it. You don't have to put in, like, you don't have to think how English people are we're a bit tight, aren't we? We don't let the money go. Here, they've not got a choice. They either pay it or they don't get the work done. So you need to be on the same par as the Australian builders, but maybe bring in a bit of like your British skills, like you can do other jobs, whereas like they might employ a carpenter here, and the carpenter will go, yeah, I only do frames. That means you've got to pay someone to do the frames. Then you've got a different carpenter who come in and say, I do the windows, so you've got to pay someone for that. If you can do both of those and incorporate them in the same price and do it a bit cheaper than 2 single men, so say it's $1,000 a day for a man, $1,000 for one doing the frame, $1,000 for the window, that's 2 grand. If you can say, well, I'll do the lot for you for $1,600, they're going to say $400. You're not bothered because you picked up 2 days work. You've got $800 a day, which is good. Good money. When you're working for a company, my wages, I was coming out for a flat week of like 40 hours after your super's been paid. That was with the vehicle, not paying fuel or anything. I was coming out with about $1,400. When I started doing my overtime and everything, I was coming out with like $2,700 a week. So you can make it up if they've got the work in there anyway, which most do. So $1,400 a week after tax and everything, you're looking at what, 700 quid? Not bad money, is it? £700. And it wasn't hard work, it was quite cushy work, just doing bits of maintenance for the councils and everything. Obviously now I'm picking up work for myself. I've just done a fence for a company, and I've charged them just to put the fence up, charged them like $6,000. Now that's took me what, 3 days to do, and I've spent about $1,500 on materials. It's not bad. And then I've got in total, the job I quoted, it was $14,000, which is like 7 grand English, but that's also putting the roller gate on, so when the roller gate comes, I'm going to do that. So the total for the job comes to $7,000. I've been on it no more than a week, so you can earn the money, and that's fair. I came in 3 grand cheaper than the other quotes, and that was just by me quoting it. They told me what they've been quoting, and I laughed. I said, 15 grand, I said, Jesus. So yeah, don't be scared of putting in decent prices because someone else will be doing it above you. Like I thought my prices were high, and then I speak to people that know, and I'm way under. So I'm still on British prices, and you need to double it, sometimes triple it for English prices. I'll give you an example. A bathroom. So I used to fit a bathroom in the UK for £4 to £5. Here you're looking at $30,000, so it's 15 grand, and that's box standard. That is a box standard bathroom. That's like the units that you get from better bathrooms that are 200 quid. Over here they'd be $1,000, which is 500 quid. The tiles, they'd be cheap tiles. Obviously you got the waterproofing and everything, but bathrooms is the way to go when you get here. Kitchens, forget it. If you like fitting kitchens, forget it. It's not going to happen. My sole intention was to get in fit kitchens. The kitchen companies here make them and install them, and they want to pay you £30 per unit. So say it's a 10 unit kitchen, they're going to pay you 300 quid. I used to charge £1,200 minimum for a basic kitchen in the UK. So if you're kitchen fitter, forget it. I don't think you're going to be making your money. Look at switching it up and find something else to do. Unless you want to make your own kitchens, that's where the money is. You can charge 30 grand for a kitchen. So yeah, hopefully I'll get a bit of a workshop in the future and I'll be able to do it. But until then, I've got this house to finish me little barley hut. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at the side. The side's not done. The front's looking good though. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope it's been an insightful video. And if you've not subscribed, please go and press it. Send me some questions. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.